holiday for most of us. Today is Easter Sunday, and you have taken the time to be here. And I would like to acknowledge that because you could be doing multiple other things. And you are here because you are interested in brain health, right? Today marks the first of a very exciting series called I Am Accomplished. But before we get into the weeds of it, the nitty-gritty of it, I'd like us to just do a little check-in to see where we are with our practice. So, here's my first question, and we've had this question before. If you can, just write it in the chat. How many days on average per week did you practice or use the three tools? That's the reading aloud, writing by hand, and the easy math. How many days per week did you do it? Is it 2 days per week, 3 days, four, five? Just put it in the chat. Let's share. Let's see how we're coming along. 5 days, Marlene, great. 3 days, wonderful, wonderful. I think I averaged 3 days also. Anyone else? Reading aloud is easy. Yes, I think reading aloud I do reading aloud every day, actually. The other two, I'm still a little challenging. Reading aloud, all resilient. I think this is Rhonda saying that reading aloud is easy. All else was a challenge in the last month. Okay, so this is good. Did anyone else have difficulty employing the other tools? Okay, here's a question. Which tool did you find most difficult to employ? Which tool did you find most difficult to practice, I should say? Math. Yes, that is what we're hearing from resilient health communities. Anyone else? Which tool did you find the most difficult to practice? Please put it in the chat. I will say for me, the most difficult tool to practice was actually the writing by hand. I have no problem doing the reading and the math, especially now that we have access to easy math on our Resilient Health Communities platform. It makes it very easy to use it wherever I am in the world, on my bed or in my office. I can use it. So the math I find quite easy to use, but writing by hand has been a bit slow for me. Okay, well. Let's move along and start with our today's topic. And I'm going to share my screen. I see Althea Roberts is saying 3 days a week, and writing 2 days per week. 2 days, writing 2 days. Okay, I get that. I get that. I see we have a similar challenge there. Okay, so I am going to share my screen so we can get into the topic at hand. Today's topic is, oh, 1 second. Uh, I am accomplished. I am accomplished. That is actually a three-part series. Just a second here. I'm having a bit of a challenge. All right. My apologies. I thought I had it all set, and I did not. Okay. So today we are focusing on the first of a three-part series entitled I Am Accomplished. And our focus for the month of April is honoring the past. Honoring the past. So last month, just to recap, last month we focused on a very important principle, which is meaning matters. Meaning matters, and that the brain responds to meaning. When we engage when we learned that the brain we learned I'm sorry that the brain engages meaningfully I'm sorry we learned that when the brain engages with meaningful challenge, It strengthens important cognitive systems. So today we are going to take that step a little further, and we are going to begin this new series called I Am Accomplished. I Am Accomplished. And this series focuses on the fact that there is something that we tend to overlook when we are thinking about the brain, which is our life story. We all have one, and we tend to overlook it. But your brain contains a remarkable system called the autobiographical memory. This is the system that stores the story of your life. And this system includes, okay, this system includes um, the story of your life. It includes the experiences that shaped you, the challenges you overcame, the lessons you learned, and the accomplishments that made you proud. Autobiographical memory does more than help us remember the past. It helps us answer one of the most important questions in life. And what is that question? That question is, who am I? Who am I? When we recall meaningful experiences, the brain activates several important systems at the same time. They include the hippocampus, which where we find our memory networks. So that activates the memory networks in the hippocampus. It activates emotional processing systems in the limbic system. And it also identifies and reflects, or it helps us identify or activates our identity and reflection networks in the frontal cortex. These networks work together to create a coherent sense of self. Research in cognitive aging shows that reflecting on meaningful life experiences can strengthen memory retrieval and emotional resilience. In other words, remembering the story of your life helps the brain keep active. So today, we will begin by honoring the past, not live in the past, but to honor it. And we'll do so by recognizing something that's very powerful. Your brain has been full of your life, I'm sorry, has been full of accomplishments. But before we get into our brain boost practice, I would like us to look at a short video that introduces today's theme.
Did you know memory strengthens identity? Hi there. This is Dr. Charmaine Wood, and welcome
There
back
we go.
to Brain
Okay,
Health
there we go.
101, brought to you by Resilient Health Communities. Today, we're going to explore an important idea. Your life story strengthens your brain. When we remember meaningful experiences from our lives, the brain activates a network called the autobiographical memory system. This system includes several important brain structures. The hippocampus, which helps store and retrieve memories, the prefrontal cortex, which helps organize and interpret experiences, and emotional processing centers that connect memory with meaning. When these areas activate together, the brain strengthens connections between memory, identity, and understanding. And this is why reflecting on life experiences can feel so powerful. You are not simply remembering events, you are reinforcing the story of who you are. You are, in fact, reinforcing your identity. Research in cognitive aging suggests that recalling meaningful experiences can support memory retrieval, emotional resilience, and a stronger sense of identity, which plays an important part in brain health. Just think about it. When people recognize the value of their experiences and what has given their life meaning, they are more likely to remain mentally engaged and socially connected. That engagement helps to strengthen cognitive reserve, the brain's ability to remain adaptable as we age. So, reflection exercises encourage the brain to reconnect past experiences with present meaning. And that process helps strengthen the networks that support memory and understanding. Remembering your story does more than honor the past. It helps keep the brain active, connected, and resilient. This brain health insight is brought to you by Resilient Health Communities. Let this be a reminder to boost your brain every single day. Thank you.
Wow, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Woods, for sharing that insight on autobiographical memory. This was my first time actually hearing about this branch of memory. And so that is very important, a very important area for. So we will
So,
practice our three brain boost habits that we've been using all along, which is reading aloud, our simple math done quickly, and writing by hand, because we know these habits strengthen attention, processing speed, and memory. So today we will apply them to something deeply meaningful, which is the story of your life. So I'd like you to I'll welcome our three co-presenters today. We have with us Merlin Andre. Merlin is the coordinator for the first group that started this year. This is the Light Bearers Mission SDA group. And guess what? They graduated the first class for the year last Sunday. So let's give them a round of applause for that graduation. So thank you. Merlin will present on reading aloud. And then we also have, following Merlin, we will have Alberta Cooley. Alberta has presented with us in the past. She's an excellent co-presenter. Uh, Alberta is from she's a co-coordinator, I'm sorry, for the Mid-Montgomery County, Maryland group that has a graduation coming up this Thursday, right? This Thursday. Alberta will present the math done quickly, the easy math for us today. And then, so round of applause. Let's give Alberta a round of applause, Alberta's group a round of applause in anticipation for Thursday's graduation. And then we have with us Marilyn Procope Beckles. She's the president of the Tobago Alzheimer's Support Group and a member of the committee that's leading the pilot in Tobago. She will present to us the writing by hand segment. So at this time, I am going to turn the mic over to Merlene. After Merlene, we will have Alberta, and following Alberta, we will have Marilyn. Okay, so I will sign off here for WIP, and Merlene, take it away.
Thank you, Dr. M. Much appreciated. And I'm glad to be here with you all. Um, and yes, I'm going to be doing the first brain boost habit of reading out loud. And I'm going to need you all's help when it's time to read some of the poetry. So, reading out loud activates multiple systems in the brain at the same time. When you read out loud, your eyes process the words, language systems interpret meaning, speech networks coordinate expression, and your ears hear your voice. This multi-system activation strengthens neural connections and supports memory. Today's reading focuses on the idea that every life contains important chapters, and we're going to be practicing together. You will see poems on the screen, and our volunteers for reading, we're just asking that you read loudly and clearly. All efforts are valued, so use your own personal style. And if you want to be dramatic, be dramatic. And so, who will be our first volunteer as the poems come up? I am about to share the poems, and we're looking for a first volunteer. I can't see necessarily where hands are raised, but you can raise your hand or you can start reading. Do we have a volunteer?
Yes, my name is oh, sorry, go ahead.
Hi, Ellen. You're ready to volunteer on the first poem?
Yes,
Thank you.
yes. I have built things. I have built things that do not have my name on them. Homes filled with steadiness. Children who stand upright. Problems that no longer exist because I solve them quietly. I have learned things no classroom ever taught me. What I carry is not noise, it is structure, it is strength, it is proof.
All right. Thank you, Ellen, for that. So, Ellen, quick question. Did any particular line resonate with you in this poem?
Actually, all of them really, but it's just like saying, I have built things. The things you build for me is what you build is what you remember, which what brings meaning to you. So that's what stood out for me.
Okay, okay. Anyone else? Anything stand out for you in this poem? Any other volunteers to express their experience from this poem?
Hi, this is Selma.
Yes, Selma.
The two lines that said, "I've learned things no classroom ever taught me." That
Hmm.
stood out because I mean most of the things we learn through experience, and not necessarily in a classroom.
That's true. That's very true.
Oh, here's
It's interesting because recently I assembled a desk and did not put my name on it. And I usually do things without following. I just figure how to do it, but I followed the instructions. They were picture instructions, and I built that. Okay, so we're gonna go to a next poem, and I need another reading volunteer. Who shall be the next volunteer for still here, still capable?
I'd volunteer, Althea.
Thank you.
Still here, still capable. I am not only who I was, but I'm also who I was. Oh, that's funny.
Mhm.
Let's read that again. I am not only who I was, but I am also who I was. The decisions, the risks, the nights I stayed up when no one saw, experience did not disappear. It settled into wisdom. I am still here, still capable, still building. Mhm.
Thank you, Althea. So, did any of the words make you think about experiences in your own life in this poem?
Yes, experience did not disappear. It
Yes.
settled into wisdom. It
Excellent.
settled into wisdom because that is what life has been. And as you age, you would realize that there is so much you gain along your journey that I can now appreciate when people really say, the old man is a wise man because
Hmm.
experience is the world's greatest teacher. And experience don't just disappear, it turns into wisdom. Mm.
That
That's
is
my take.
right. Thank you for sharing that. Anyone else want to home in on any particular phrase, any particular word in this poem?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that no matter how long however long you are alive, you will always still be building and growing and learning, no matter what your age.
That's right. That's right. Thank you for those comments. And as I look at this poem and the other one before also, not only I'm sure as we're reading aloud, but as Althea did at first. She wanted to reread that first part. Sometimes you have to read and reread to really understand and, get something from. You can really meditate on these poems, and that is using your brain as well. We're going to go to the next poem, and we need a next reader. Who will be next? You can just unmute for Between Then and Now.
I'll read.
Thanks, Emma.
Between then and now. Between then and now, I have crossed distances no map recorded. I have endured losses that changed my shape, but not my substance. The world may move on, but what I built remains. Inside me is evidence.
Okay. Did you resonate with any of the lines in this poem?
For sure, everything that we everything that we've been through shaped our lives,
Mhm.
and we may not it may not show on the outside, but definitely we carry it on the inside with us because it would change us in some way.
Yes, for sure that. Okay, I'll take one more comment or anyone to express on this particular poem, and then we're gonna move on.
This is Ellen again. I just wanted to say we are all unique. Your story is your story. My story is my story. And we are the only one who can tell it in a way that it would, because it's our story. So no
Mhm.
matter our experience, nobody can experience what we experience in the way that we experience this. We are all unique. We are all different.
Right, right. We may have some similarities in the past that we take, but yes, we all have our own story. Excellent. Thank you all for sharing. So we gonna stop here at this point. We have the idea we definitely want to practice these poems were short but enlightening and definitely struck up some conversation, but we do want to remember that at home we're shooting for 10 minutes of reading aloud. We're trying for 4 to 5 days each week. So you want to choose material that holds meaning for you. It could be a poem, it could be scripture, speeches, or stories. Remember that meaningful language strengthens both attention and emotional engagement. And now we're going to move on from language to logic.
Next, we have Alberta. Alberta, the math section, you're up next.
Albert is muted.
Alberta, you're muted.
Oh, don't be bad. Oh, beautiful. Oh my God, beautiful.
Okay, you hearing me now?
Yes, we can.
Thank you. This is all about simple math, doing simple math quickly. Simple math strengthens the brain's executive system. And what are these systems? One is focus, the other one, working memory, third, mental flexibility, and fourth, processing speed. So, what do they do? These skills help us to manage daily life and adapt to new challenges. So, we will go into some practice for 3 minutes. Let's practice for 3 minutes. Get your pens and paper ready. The slides, you will see the timed slides on the screen. follow the instructions. Work as quickly as you can. If the slide changes before you finish, just move on. If you finish early, start again in another direction. Remember now, the goal is steady effort, not perfection. You don't have to get them all right. So we have 3 minutes to practice simple math quickly. Pens down, time's up. Reflection. Notice how alert your brain feels. That alertness reflects executive network engagement. And that's our practice today on simple math done quickly. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Alberta. So now we will move on from logic to reflection, and we will have Marilyn presenting this section for us. This is writing by hand. So if you would share the prompt, we can get started.
Today's prompt is write 10 accomplishments from your life. They may be personal achievements, challenges you overcame, ways you helped others, milestone in your family, work, or community, They could be big or small. They all count. So now you need to write by hand for 5 minutes. And you start. You heard me?
Yes.
Okay. One more minute according to my watch. Okay. So now it's time to share. Time up, 5 minutes. Now it's time to share. So I'm asking like 3 persons to just share a few of your accomplishments with us. Any three? Three volunteers.
I'll go. I'm
Get out.
Ellen.
Hi.
Yes, I've read the Bible, the entire Bible, over 12 times. Um, Went back to school after raising my son and taking care of my dementia dad for 10 years. And,
Wow.
and now I teach in an all-girls school with brown and black children to pour back into that community.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Good. Lovely, Agüita. Any two other persons, please? A few of your accomplishments.
I would like
Could
to
I
share,
share?
One
Go
at a
ahead,
time.
Alberta.
take a senior person to the doctor, cut a senior person's toenails, give cash to a needy person, gave cash to a needy person, um, took cooked food to a senior, took a group of sisters to sing for a senior, very, very senior lady, and helped on Martin Luther King Day packing stuff for needy people.
Well, great. One more, two more.
So I just want to share one because it's the one I've celebrated for the last year. And that is making sure that I was able to retire at 60. It's now 14 months later, and I'm still celebrating with gratitude the ability to leave the great American workplace and to live the life I want to for the rest of my life. But also on my list, in addition to my accomplishment of retiring, a couple of things that have been important to me, especially recently. I served as an Army reservist for a period of time while I was in undergrad. And then after finishing law school, went back to that community and taught college level courses to active duty military personnel. And that's always been something I've been proud of.
Good. Good. And we are all proud of you also. Okay, so thank you all for sharing. But before we get to the thank you, let me just go back to the importance of writing by hand. Because handwriting is slower than typing, it requires deliberate processing. So you actually have to think about your writing. It helps to strengthen your retention. And by writing by hand, the response encourages the brain to move past the first easy answer and dig. You have to dig deep into your memory to really get, to remember to write the things down by hand. So it's important for us to do journaling. I mean, I've been doing journaling for years. I do a diary. I have loads of diaries from many, many years, maybe from 16, 17, right up to now. I continue to do my daily journal. Yeah, because it helps you really reflect. It really helps you to bring back what your day was like. So I can look back at all my journals and see what I've done 10 years ago on this day and sort of compare. So it's important to do writings by hand. So again, let me thank all of you for writing by hand. And you see, journaling, make a list, it really matters. So what matters most is the regular connection between thinking and movement.
That is so true. That is so. Thank you so much, Marilyn, for sharing that, for leading out in this session. And thank you to all our participants. for engaging with this topic. But before we close, I would like us to take a moment to recognize something powerful. You see, when we speak meaningful experiences out loud and others witness them, the brain encodes those memories more strongly.
Yeah.
This strengthens identity and confidence. So as we continue this reflective portion of today's work, I would like maybe one or two volunteers to share one accomplishment that shaped your life. So the sentence goes like this. One accomplishment that shaped my life is, who is willing to share that? One accomplishment that shaped my life is, just unmute if you would like to share that.
Yes. One accomplishment I think helped to shape my life is as a young child when I was encouraged to participate very much in activities on the stage where you recited and you were always, well, I was always given lots of gifts and presents for my ability to recite well and loud. And I think that, and I was pretty young, maybe just about 5 or so. And I think it impacted my life positively because I feel I deliver myself in a way that it's audible and acceptable. So, and that's an accomplishment that I think it has followed me all through my life.
Thank you, Althea. I agree. I can hear that in the way you present yourself today. Thank you very much. Is there anyone else who would like to complete that sentence? One accomplishment that shaped my life is,
You have one
Read
in
a
the chat.
particular person.
I do. I'm sorry. One accomplishment that shaped my life. This is from someone, Zoom user. I think that's Lisa. Was reading 10 books a week from the age of 5 to 15. That is amazing. Thank you, Lisa. 10 books per week. And that Zoom user also wrote that walking 10K every day, volunteering overseas in Europe and South Africa, traveling solo to France. This is amazing. We're just an amazing group here. 30 amazing people sitting here today.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, can I have at least one more individual complete this sentence? One accomplishment that shaped my life is,
Traveling.
someone said traveling.
Mhm.
Traveling. Yes, it does.
Yes.
Thank you. Was that Marilyn?
It broadens your horizon when you travel,
Absolutely.
especially when you travel solo at a young age. You
Mm.
really have to learn to make your way. And as you get older, you find traveling is so important in terms of looking at things in a different light.
That is so very true, Marilyn. Thank you. Thank you for sharing, and thank you to everyone for sharing your experience that shaped your life with us today. Experiences like that become part of the wisdom that we carry forward. So thank you very much. I saw Shamin's hand. Shamin, can you go ahead? Did Shamin?
That was actually a mistake, but
Okay. That's okay. That's okay.
um, let's see, one accomplishment that shaped my life. Um, I mean, I think just in terms of professional achievement, graduating college and then graduating from medical school, certainly both of those shaped my life in ways that I don't know that I knew going into it.
Mm.
Just being able to live in multiple places, that's as a result of those accomplishments. So I've, lived in the South, I've lived in the Midwest, all in, I guess, pursuit of
academic and professional achievement, both for myself and my husband. So that's expanded my horizon. Somebody mentioned travel, and that's a form of traveling as well. A lot of people, um, they're born in one town and they stay in that town and don't move anywhere else, and so their viewpoint on life is quite limited. And I have to say that my experience has been different because of that.
Thank you. Thank you, Shaman, for sharing that with us. I concur with that. Okay, so thank you again for everyone for being here. But I wanted to tell you what's coming up next week. Did Alberta, did you raise your hand? You're muted.
I would have liked to have shared, but it's okay.
Okay. Well, if you can share quickly, we have a few
Yeah,
moments.
okay. Well, this goes back to when I was a little country girl in my island. And I just happened to read a paper where I saw someone from my country graduate as a nurse. And I said to myself, I want to be a nurse. And I went about doing all the investigation and I was accepted at the hospital. I did not tell my parents anything until I was about to leave home.
Oh,
And that has shaped my life going to study nursing in England. You know, my perspectives on life changed. I'm more caring, giving. You know, I love working with people. It has done, and it has helped me to travel all over. So it has done great things for me.
oh wow. Thank you. Thank you, Alberta, for sharing that. Thank you, everyone, for sharing. So today, we activated three important brain systems: our memory networks, our executive control networks, and reflection and identity networks. And you reminded yourself of something important, that your life has been filled with experiences, lessons, and accomplishments. These memories are not just part of your past, they are part of the foundation of who you are today. So, next month, we continue with the theme. However, our focus is living the present, living the present. And we will explore how how staying engaged strengthens the brain, how contribution protects emotional well-being, and how connection supports cognitive health. So don't keep this to yourself. Share this with others. Invite others to be a part of next week's session. I'm sorry, next month's first Sunday session. So for homework, let's see what we'll do for homework. We're encouraging you to please continue with the 10-10-10 brain boost habits. Let's continue with that routine. That is 10 minutes of writing by hand, 10 minutes of reading aloud, and 10 minutes of easy math. There are dozens of 10-minute math exercises on the Resilient Health YouTube platform. So you have no excuse. We used the workbook in the past, but I'm sure by now you might have used up all the math in that workbook. So we have resources for you. So engage with our platform, the YouTube platform. You can find the 10-minute math exercises, and you can also find some writing prompts. So 10-minute writing prompts, and those are coming out actually this month. Every day, there's a new writing prompt for the month of April. And once if you're not interested, if you don't want to do April's writing exercise, we have a whole host of writing prompts that you can engage with. So make sure you do that. And then for reading out loud, you can read anything. You can read your devotion, the Bible, the newspaper. Read, just read, but read out loud. And we encourage you to do this 4 to 5 days per week. 4 to 5 days per week. Um, Here's an additional homework exercise we'd like you to do. Write down, and this is new, write down 3 additional accomplishments. right? So in addition to the 10 by 10 by 10 or 10 10 10 brain boost routine, write down 3 additional accomplishments that you had not thought of before. And you may discover something important, that your life story is richer than you remembered. Okay, so include that in your homework. And finally, thank you. Thank you for being a part of Resilient Health Communities, because your commitment to brain health matters. And we will see you next week. If no one else has anything to add, we will see you next week. We're getting out early to grab some of that Easter celebration, the remnants of it.
Actually, could we do
Yes.
a few announcements?
Yes, please. Go ahead. I'm going to stop sharing.
Just a few announcements. I want to thank Dr. Murray and her team for another great session, but they are always announcements. So here they are really quickly. First, thank you to and congratulations to Merlene, who led our first group that started this year. I graduated last Sunday. Merlene has been doing an awesome job at Light Bearers and as a part of the Resilient Health Communities team. So congratulations to them. And if you're anywhere near the Silver Spring area on Thursday at 10 o'clock, join us at the Mid-County Community and Rec Center for the graduation of the Mid-County class. And this one's particularly special because when I started out several years ago to form something for my parents, that's where I wanted to have that class because they could walk to it back then. Well, it took several years, but finally the class started, and now they're having their first graduation. So, congratulations to the class, and special kudos to Alberta and Deanna, the co-coordinators for that group. Midway through their process, their 12-week process at Charterhouse, I love this group. It is a group sponsored by the African American Health Programs. We collaborate with them to share the program at that senior home. So if you're downtown Silver Spring, that's an open group that you could join. And Tobago is at the midpoint of their 6-week pilot. Today, of course, being Easter, today's off from sessions. Sessions resume next Sunday. I know registration is closed, but visitors are always welcome. And here in the US, April is National Volunteer Month. Well, why do I mention that? One, seriously, it's the fact that science has proven that volunteering is positive for brain health. Volunteering is positive for overall health. Volunteers live longer. Not volunteering for 20 minutes in an entire year, but really volunteering in projects that matter to you have been proven to improve quality of life and longevity. So, here are ways that you could volunteer with Resilient Health Communities. Share the exercises with a family member or friend. We share with you, so you will continue and share with others. We want to see a change in the projection for the continued increase of dementia. So we share, and we're requiring and asking you to volunteer by simply sharing. Practice with someone, help them understand how to use the tools. And you can simply just connect them to the YouTube channel so that they have a ready place they can go to for the math, the prompts, and to learn more about brain health. The Brain Health 101 series continues to add videos every Tuesday, and you can engage. You know, I noticed that even though there's an increase in subscription and use of the channel, we don't really interact. So like, comment, and let's start interacting more on the channel. And here's this is very personal. If you want to lend us more of your amazing skills, just reach out. There's the email. The email is on this page too, and a QR code for a direct access to our YouTube channel. Those are the announcements. It is amazing that there are 30 persons on Easter Sunday. So looking forward to seeing what all those classes, some will complete this month, and the new ones that will come online. And encourage you that if you're interested in taking this to your community, reach out to us. We'd be happy to help you share it with your friends and family. And that's it for announcements.
And that's it for today. It's 7 p.m. and we will see you next month. Thank
Thank
you again for
you.
joining. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.